she want me bad. Michael.
5 True Horror Stories Animated. Subscribe. Oh, this shit. I've seen this before.
I take the same route every single day, in and out of the city. I don't live very far, just 30 or so minutes.
I don't live very far, just 30 or so minutes.
From the
Damn.
quiet suburbs. The road I took was always quiet at night, which was a huge relief compared to the traffic there was during the day. I was driving on this road, and everything was going just as it always did. It was a little past 10 p.m. I was listening to my music and happy to be almost home. When I was 10 minutes away and entering the woodsy area just before the start of the suburbs, a light beamed from up the road. Nothing was off at first, but as it got closer, it seemed to be really bright, like almost blinding me. I literally had to stare at the shoulder of the road to make sure I stayed in my lane. But just as I thought they were going to pass me, I suddenly could see a glimpse of their tires right in my lane. They were driving on the wrong side of the road, about to head-on collision.
I'm going off the fucking road, bro. I don't give a fuck. Swerving the fuck around. No way in fuck I'm getting in a head-on crash, bro. It's probably some drunk ass. And then if you try and swerve into their lane and they see you, they're probably gonna swerve, and then you're just gonna hit. So I'm just going off the fucking road and either stopping or fucking drifting that bitch right the fuck around. And I'm just going. Fuck
With
that.
me. My reflexes took over, and I swerved to the right, immediately flying off the road and slamming into the ditch that bordered the woods.
Okay, maybe don't do that.
It took me a few seconds to gather myself, but I didn't seem to be very injured or anything. I unbuckled my seatbelt and jumped out of the car. It was totaled for sure.
First off, call the fucking police or whatever. That's the first thing I'm doing. That thing is fucked.
The whole front was pretty much ripped off, and it honestly looked like I should have died in there. Then I remembered what happened, and immediately got pissed off. I climbed out of the ditch and looked down the road. I expected to see their headlights fading out in the distance, but I was surprised. They had stopped and pulled over, not too far down. Before approaching them,
First thing I'm thinking is they like felt bad and stopped. But I mean, it could be some fucking fucker that wanted you out of the goddamn car. Some fucking serial killer ass fuck.
quickly looked at my surroundings and realized how secluded we were. So before confronting them, I ran back down to my car and got my phone, calling the police. I didn't know who was in that car up there, or if
Good
they were
work,
drunk
buddy.
and angry or something, so I figured I'd play it safe. The operator said they would be here in 5 minutes, so I hung up and started to walk back up the ditch, but was startled by a guy now standing at the top. He didn't ask if I was okay, or say anything at all.
Nah.
Are you the one that made me crash? You could have killed me, I said, trying to hold back my anger until the cops arrived. He still didn't speak, but the light from his car on the road suddenly started getting brighter and coming toward where he was standing. I was still in the ditch, but could see that it was the same car, and someone else was driving it. They backed up right to the edge of the ditch, then the driver door swung open, and another guy got out. The two men started talking in a different language. I think it was Russian or German. I'm not good with languages, but it had that aggressive sound to it. As they talked,
Nah, bro. I'm fucking getting back in the car, locking that shit, and fucking hiding.
one
Fuck
guy
that.
rushed around to the back of the car and threw open the trunk, but instead of grabbing anything, he turned to face me. Both of them immediately came running at me, down into the ditch. It
Yeah,
didn't
nah,
take
bro.
me more than a split second to put the pieces together. I turned around and sprinted into the woods as the men ran around my car and continued chasing me. They were both large and heavier looking men, so after a good minute of sprinting, I'd lost them. Now I was in the middle of the woods with absolutely no light to see where I was going. I didn't even know which direction was which. With no sounds of the men nearby, I aimlessly wandered through the trees. I wasn't trying to get back to the road while the men were still around, but I also didn't want to get completely lost so that the police wouldn't be able to help me. After only a couple minutes of walking though, I could
What I'm doing is fucking sitting behind a tree and just fucking waiting, bro. Like, they'll bring a fucking dog and shit. These guys, as soon as the cops get there, they're fucking leaving. Just sit down and wait, but this might
hear the
complicate
sirens in
shit.
the distance
Okay,
to my
man.
left. I followed the sound, leading me straight to the road, where I could see the cop car at the top of the ditch and 2 officers inspecting my car. There were no signs of the men anywhere. I explained what happened, and they wrote down a report, but the follow-up investigation was minimal, since only their description was to go off of. Nothing was stolen from my car, though. It's pretty blatant that they were trying to throw me in their trunk, but whether that was planned before or after the crash is
That shit was probably some human trafficking fuck ass shit. I don't know.
unclear. Maybe they made a mistake and were trying to cover it up, or it could have all been just as they intended.
If they made a mistake, they could have just kept fucking driving, bro. Like, what? You didn't fucking see their license plate or anything? They could have just kept going. That shit's some human trafficking. Are these actually true? What the fuck?
Hi, I'm writing this today because
Bro, do not sit here and try and tell me that's supposed to be a fucking female voice.
I
Oh,
love your
what?
channel, and I thought it might be a great opportunity to share my story. I have short hair, snake bite piercings, a septum piercing, a nose piercing, and I wear oversized men's clothes, as that's what I'm most comfortable in. I have no problem with people
Alright.
viewing me as masculine, so it was my first day in 11th grade. I was having
Bro, that bitch looks like a fucking chicken, bro. The
lunch
fuck?
with my best friend Sally when she gestured to a boy sitting next to us. His name was Henry, and everyone knew him to be the big bully since middle school. Surprise!
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with him? He's like fucking Joker mixed with a fucking crack addict on fucking Fent. Holy fuck, bro's a fucking unit. Small ass hands. What the fuck?
Surprisingly, he's
Oh my
staring at
god.
me with a creepy smile. I never talked to him before, so I felt weird when he
And
smiled
I'm going straight to the fucking principal and saying, get this fucker the fuck out of here. Hell no.
at me. The rest of the day, we're
Bro, I'm fucking reporting this fucker. Hell no.
Henry's eyes followed me. When my last class bell rang, and it was time to go home, I got a call from my dad saying that he was going to visit my uncle at the hospital battling cancer.
Nah, bro, he's gonna show up.
Meaning,
Henry's fucking creepy ass is showing up. His ugly, dumb, fucking bitch ass.
I was home alone, as my mom was at work, and my older sister was sleeping over at her boyfriend's house. I got off the bus and began walking home. I live in a small town, so the side roads are almost always empty. But as I was walking past an alleyway, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me over. It was Henry. Before I could even process what was happening, Henry kissed me.
So that's fucking assault. Henry's a fucking... Bro, he's gonna lose his shit too. Like, bro, I just sexually assaulted you and you rejected it, so now I'm gonna fucking kill your ass.
I
Yeah,
pushed him away and he screamed.
bro, she doesn't want you, bro. Just give up. She doesn't want you, bro. Like, maybe fucking stop staring at her and looking all fucking
What?
like you're
You
gonna
were
fucking eat
smiling at
her,
me,
bro.
remember?
Oh. You're smiling at me. Now take your coat.
I thought we shared a moment. I was shocked, realizing how
Bro,
delusional this guy
she doesn't
was.
want you, bro.
I yelled back at him. No, you're the one who smiled. And FYI, I'm in.
In this situation, you just say, like, sorry. Like, you gotta be nice, bro, because this guy's gonna fucking lose his shit. You're getting murked from this. You gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill.
Into girls. I saw the anger in his eyes as he just said fine in annoyance and stormed off.
Oh, hell no.
I took a second to process what just happened before I continued walking home. I didn't share this with my parents and went to bed after watching Walking Dead reruns. I usually sleep with one window open for cross.
Yeah, no. I feel like after that, fucking locking the doors, windows are staying shut, fucking locked. Bro, why do they never have a fucking screen also? Like, knowing fuck. That window is right next to her bed. No screen. Wide the fuck open. Hell no.
Cross ventilation. Around 3 a.m., I heard a quiet noise. Now, I have a guinea pig, so I'm used to noises, but this one sounded different.
Like
I
someone,
immediately became
like someone climbing through your fucking window? You stupid fuck.
alarmed and slowly looking around the room.
Bro. I don't even know what I would do. I'm either just laying there, not moving, and just saying like, please fucking go away. Or I'm jumping the fuck out of bed. But I'm fucking running towards the noise, full on like fucking just throwing everything I got, bro. Throwing fucking haymakers.
Someone was crawling through the window
No.
and entering my bedroom. Seeing an
Nah,
intruder, the normal reaction should be screaming, but I was too shaken by this. I laid on the bed, frozen like a mummy, when the man stopped and turned to me. He stood still and watched for a few seconds, but all of a sudden picked up speed and ran right
Oh,
at me.
hell.
Before I
Yeah,
could
I'm
scream,
fucking
he
throwing.
placed his hand on my mouth. Then, when I realized that it was Henry. Luckily, my dad was still awake downstairs, and he saw someone jumping our fence from our living room. He slammed through the door of my room so hard that Henry's face turned pale. He tried to jump out through the window, and
So Henry climbed up. How the fuck did he get up? She's on the second floor. He just scaled the fucking
escaped.
house.
But my dad grabbed his t-shirt and pulled him back.
My dad grabbed his bitch ass and threw fucking haymakers.
The police arrested Henry and took him away in handcuffs. I hugged my mom while struggling to hold back my tears. I was so scared, and I didn't know that he wanted or even knew how he knew my address. But I figured that he must have followed me home. The next morning, I woke up and called my best friend to tell them about this incident, but she didn't pick up. I wasn't too concerned about it, as she often slept in, so I decided to just get ready for school and wait for her there. The day passed and she never came, so I tried calling her, but she didn't answer again. I figured that she was still sick and decided to go to her house to see if everything was okay. When I made it to her house, I knocked, but no one answered. Her parents were out.
Bro, who only knocks twice? I feel like I knocked 3
on
times,
a
bro.
business trip,
That was just some
and she
dumb
was
shit.
supposed to be home alone. I called her again. I could hear her phone ringing inside the house. I tried the door and noticed that the door was unlocked, so I went inside. I called out to her so she would know that I was there, but there was no response. I walked up the stairs and into her room, and I was mortified by what I saw. There she was, lying unconscious on her bed, and someone scribbled this on her wall: "Once she's gone, you'll be all mine." I called my parents, and they called for a paramedic.
Call the police, bro. What? Why would you call your parents? Okay, Henry is a fucking psycho, bro. If you're doing this shit because someone smiled at you, you are
All
a
mine.
fucking. You're
I called my
schizophrenic, bro.
parents, and they called for a paramedic. Sally was rushed to the hospital. The doctors said that she fainted out of shock. I immediately thought that it had to be Henry who did this, but then I remembered that he was under police custody right now. 2 days later, when
He could have done it before. Like, before, on her way home. On her way home to when she was in bed, there's a fucking gap. He could have fucking done that shit.
Sally was a little bit better, she told the cops that a guy named Zach from school snuck into her house with
Or
a
is it Henry's boy? What the
knife
fuck?
and threatened to kill her. His demeanor was that of like a psycho, which terrorized Sally as she fainted. I didn't know what he wanted, but Zach kept saying one thing repeatedly: "I have to do this for my best friend. I promised Henry." Zach was eventually arrested and put behind bars for being an accomplice of Henry. It was found later that Henry brainwashed Zach and told him to be on board with his plan. Henry wanted me to be his girlfriend, but when I rejected him, he didn't handle the rejection well. It's scary to think that Zach was so obsessed about his friendship with Henry that he didn't even think of the consequences before breaking into Sally's house. Sally and I filed for restraining orders against Henry and Zach because sadly, they haven't done enough to stay behind bars forever. But judging their mental condition
Bro,
and evil intentions,
no.
I wouldn't be shocked if these two turned out to be terrifying criminals in the future.
Nah, bro. Subscribe. Fucking thanks for watching.